guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be checking out why Poland-Germany tensions are rising.
I remember the last video we checked out. I don't know why I got so mad.
The immigrant video, right?
Yeah, the immigrant, when they were bringing immigrant in
Poland.
Poland, it was... I was so offended by that video. I'm so sorry I, had an outburst.
We shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have, and I'm apologizing for that.
So let's see what they have for us.
Please, I don't want to get angry.
On Monday, Poland introduced border controls with Germany and Lithuania after groups of Poles organised what they called citizen
This is my first time hearing that country.
To oppose migrants being sent back to Poland from Germany after crossing the border illegally. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has told Germany that Poland's patient stance was wearing thin, and that if Germany extends its border controls again in September, Poland will have no choice but to do the same. So in this video, we'll explain the Poland-Germany migration dispute, the other reasons tensions are rising, and whether things could improve.
Okay.
So that is specifically this thing blocks.
Explore which world leaders are winning and which are losing every week with our new podcast, The World of the League. Find it over on the TLDR Podcast's YouTube channel or in your favourite podcast app. Let's start with some context on Polish-German relations.
Okay.
When Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk was
I'm
first
so
in
sorry.
office,
Starting with the context with the Poland-Germany relationship, we already know what the relationship. And in as much as there's love now, but I'm so sorry for saying this, but deep down,
They see that tension.
Yeah,
They
they-
have not forgotten what happened
no,
before.
even just learning about the history, personally I've not forgotten, not to talk of the people that was directly affected.
And on the side of Poland, I don't think they will ever forget. It's
Yeah.
going to always be that reminder of, even if they're at peace, but it will be that relationship
Yeah.
of caution.
Yeah, caution, yes, tiptoeing around each other.
Tiptoe, you're not
And
fully
currently,
there.
what Germany is trying to
To
do
do now.
is poking the bear. I'm so sorry.
2007 and 2014, he sought closer relations with Germany's then-Chancellor Angela Merkel, marked by pragmatic
People don't like that
attempts to
lady.
address
That be the
long-standing
woman.
disputes over World War
Yes.
II reparations and their strong support for EU integration. Tusk even declared in an interview once that he was incapable of getting angry with Angela Merkel. However, relations collapsed under the next Polish government, led by the nationalist right-wing Law and Justice Party. From 2015 to 2023, the PIS frequently used harsh anti-German rhetoric and criticised Germany's central role in the EU, with its leader Jarosław Kaczynski claiming in 2021 that the EU risked becoming a fourth German Reich, and in 2023 claimed that a German plan would lead to the, quote, annihilation of the Polish state. So when Tusk was re-elected in 2023, there were hopes for an improvement, thanks to Tusk's liberal pro-EU reforms, but the Poland-Germany relationship still faced challenges, notably over the destruction of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipelines, and Germany's resistance to increasing military support for Ukraine under its previous Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Tusk had also pushed to revive the Weimar Triangle, an alliance of France, Germany and Poland, as he was always sceptical of the so-called Franco-German engine, having said back in 2012, things cannot be left to only two capitals of Europe. But now, fractures are starting to show again, with the biggest issue being an argument over migration. Between January 2024 and February 2025, according to data from Poland's federal police, Germany returned more than 11,000 migrants to Poland that it found to have crossed the German-Polish border illegally. There are three main ways that Germany is able to send migrants back to Poland, which we're showing on screen now. While Germany is required to inform Poland of migrant returns under the first two procedures, it's not when using temporary border controls. Since 2023, Germany has had border controls with Poland and Czechia, and extended these to all its borders last year. This method is also controversial because of its one-sidedness. Under EU law, countries may introduce their own internal border controls in the event of a serious threat to public policy or internal security, provided that it's a last resort measure in exceptional situations. But when one country introduces...
That's true, like the EU country as a whole, so long as you have the EU passport, one of the you can travel to any of the countries. So I think that kind of like causes a lapse in the sense that illegals too can actually move like without them even noticing, especially when it has to be between two borders like the Poland and Germany. Like
I totally get that.
Makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Border controls, there's often a knock-on effect. This is what we've been seeing over the past couple of years, with a total of 12 EU countries now using temporary border controls. This has heightened concerns about border security in Poland. At the start of July, videos emerged of hundreds of Poles gathering on the Polish side of the border, aimed at opposing the return of migrants sent back to Poland by Germany. The patrols were supported by Poland's two main opposition parties, the far-right Confederation and Law and Justice, which accused Tusk's government of failing to stand up to Germany. The PIS's deputy leader posted on X claiming that Poland's western border is ceasing to exist, while the far-right Confederation leader said at a press conference that Polish border guard officers were, quote, being treated like a free taxi service for illegal immigrants. Tusk initially tried to ignore the issue, condemning the marches and arguing that far-right politicians are making a spectacle at the border. However, days later, Tusk changed his mind, announcing that Poland would introduce border checks with Germany and Lithuania, which came into effect this week. His rhetoric towards Germany has also hardened. In a cabinet meeting this week, Tusk said that he'd spoken several times with Merz, warning him that Poland's patient stance was wearing thin, and saying that if Germany extends its one-sided border controls again in September, Poland will have no choice but to do the same. But aside from the migration dispute, there's at least two other reasons that Poland-Germany tensions are rising. One is that Merz and Tusk have different ideas about how to handle the EU's relationship with the US. After Trump's inauguration in January, Merz argued that Europe can no longer rely on the US, claiming the Trump administration does not care much about the fate of Europe. By contrast, Tusk believes that the US remains an indispensable ally to the EU and has stressed the need for EU leaders to retain good relations with Trump, telling reporters in February there is no reason for allies arguing among themselves not to find a common language on the most important issues. Tusk also appeared to take an indirect swipe at Merz here, warning against all possible voices that would like to introduce some kind of competitive game between the European Union and the United States. Merz and Tusk's disagreement is also reflected by their respective electorates. A Pew Research Center survey from June found that while a majority, 55%, of Poles have a favourable opinion of the US, only a third of Germans do. This is likely down to the US's close relationship with Poland during and after the Cold War, when it advocated for NATO's expansion in Central and Eastern Europe to support countries like Poland through their democratic transition. Our final point is that the ongoing reset in French-German relations may inadvertently strain Germany's relationship with Poland. For a period of time last year, it looked like the Weimar Triangle we mentioned earlier could become a new driving force inside the EU, but it now appears that Germany and France want to continue only as a duo. When Merz visited Poland on his first day as Chancellor, Tusk announced a new beginning in Polish-German relations, but also said that he was convinced the future of Europe really depends to a large extent on how this Weimar Triangle will work. So far though, it looks like Poland has kind of been cut out of the Weimar Triangle, with Merz and Macron wanting to take the lead on Europe's defence. That said, there are still some reasons to be optimistic about Germany-Poland relations. Merz is enthusiastic about providing military aid to Ukraine and investing in Europe's defence industry, which will reassure Poland given its geographical
That's why they can
proximity
never
to
be
Ukraine.
on the same. They cannot be on the same thing.
Stand,
They
yeah.
cannot be on the same stand because this other person's
Ideology
is just
different.
It's different, and their relationship is based on agreement.
Agreements.
Can two work together?
Except they agree.
So it cannot stand.
In March, Tusk announced a plan to give military training to every adult male in Poland, and Merz is also considering reintroducing conscription, putting Germany on a similar path to Poland. Ultimately, it's possible that this migration blip is just a wobble, and that Poland and Germany will improve their cooperation on defence and investment more broadly. However, the bigger issue might well be Poland's exclusion from centralised French-German decision-making, something that Tusk has long cautioned against. This is a complex and nuanced story though, and as such there's plenty more to read about it online, with 175 sources reporting on it. The issue is, how can you be sure that what you're reading isn't totally biased?
Exactly.
Well, that's a problem we face when writing these videos too, and luckily that's where this week's sponsor, Ground News, comes in.
Okay, looking at the relationship between Ukraine and Poland, when
Germany, Poland.
Poland and Ukraine, they're close now.
They are very close, yes.
Yes. So the relationship between Poland and Ukraine, during the whole thing that is going on in Ukraine, Poland actually gave Ukraine aid. In fact, they have more Ukraine.
There's a village in Poland where you go there, you see more of Ukraine.
More of
soldier.
Ukraine,
It's
yeah.
like a base for treatment and getting to put them back into bushship to go back into the warfare.
Wow.
And even their citizens too, they accepted them. It's more like bringing them into safety. Now that your home is bad, I want to have you as my guest, let me take care of it. So Ukraine and Poland relationship have been very tight. Like they've been that close compared to France. Yeah, France and Germany, they are always, always together. So that triangle, the Vladimir triangle she's talking about, is not going to work. France, Germany, and Poland. I don't see the future of them being
If the government comes to
together.
the citizens
Would yes, they won't like it.
So,
And for the US and Europe, the thing is that US always do things that favor their country first. That is it. Every country and every president will bring their people's first, and you don't expect them to do so much for you. They can only help from a distance, help with aid, but they can't be in that point where they will make things happen the way you want it to happen for you. So it's just some.
The tension is tension.
Yeah, the tension is rising,
rising.
and it's rising, and
I just hope they find a common ground, to be honest, because their ideology, first of all, is different, and just a common ground is going to do the job.
Yeah.
Because I know they won't 100% or totally agree with each other.
But they should just come to that ground where they all speak the same language and accept that, okay, we are different, but let's just exist first. Let's exist first. So thank you guys for watching to this point. See you in our next reaction. For now, bye and stay blessed.